Happy Wednesday, ladies and gents. It's your favorite guys, Dave P. and RJ Pepino. We have a special guest that we're going to be introducing here very soon. Today, it is Wednesday, it is our live stream, and we are going to be talking all about financing investment properties. So, we're going to be talking about financing fix and flips, financing new construction, doing cash out refinances. This is like a huge part of our business, and it's going to be a huge part of anyone's business who's going to be a real estate investor. Right? What do we do as real estate investors? We generate profits in really three ways. Number one, through positive cash flow. In order to get maximum cash flow from a rental property, you got to put permanent financing in place, right? You can't rely on a hard money loan and cash flow, right? You got to put permanent financing. So Eddie from Cream Funding is going to be talking about, maximizing cash flow with these DSCR loans and other loan products for buy and hold rental properties. Also, another way to make money in real estate is through fix and flip, or, new construction kind of thing, where you're adding a ton of value to a property. You're getting a great deal. You're going to fix it up. And Cream Funding has programs for that as well, fix and flips and new construction. And then finally is our favorite one, the most money we've ever made in this business. Where's the most money we've ever made in this business, Mr. Pepino?
The cash out refi strategy. So when you're buying the property right, renovating it, renting, refinancing, and repeating, the old BRRRR strategy. And when you buy the property right, you can pull out a little bit of how good of a deal that you get, some of that equity. You don't want to pull all the equity out. You want to leave some in the property. But if you buy it right, which we show you how to do, you can pull out anywhere from 10 to 15% of that equity. And if you do it into multiple properties, it's going to be a good day. Or if you do it on a commercial property, either way, you're winning because that is a loan and it's not taxed. And that's what we like to do.
Amen. We didn't mean to cut you off there. And RJ and I, we're taking notes over here too. So we're really in the game. This is what we do. I was just in his office 2 seconds ago, right before we started, talking about some properties. Can we refi this? What's it? Constant. This is a constant moving target. When you're building a portfolio and managing a portfolio every day, everybody, we're constantly looking. What is the payment here? What is the rent? Is this due for a rent increase? This is the game that we play. And this is the game that we teach you to do, that you're going to be playing. This is anything but a passive business. I mean, we can paint a pretty picture for you and tell you, passive investing. Rental properties, I would not say falls into the category of being passive. You actively need to be watching your money, watching your cash flow, and watching what financing programs are available, because that is a moving target also. Interest rates are constantly changing. Loan to values, loan products. This is a moving target. We can't just set it and forget it. We always need to be paying attention so we're making the best decisions. And then there's still tons of flip opportunities. I wish we just held on to every single lead that came across our desk. I wish we just bought and hold everything like a giant hedge fund, and that's what we're going to do, and this is what we do. No, it doesn't work that way. We got to pay the bills too. We need oxygen in our business, so we need to be flipping properties also. And we still do. Every single month, every single week, we're flipping. And we want to know what financing programs are out there for our flipping business and then for our buy and hold business. So without further ado, Mr. Eddie, how are we feeling today, Eddie?
Yes, sir. We're feeling good. Thanks, guys, for letting me on here. Come preach the good word of financing in the real estate investment space. Appreciate it.
A little something personal about Eddie that I learned very recently is this man is a diehard, and I mean diehard, Ohio State Buckeyes fan.
OH, baby.
He even went so far as to say, when he gets applications from our prized community here, Eddie, if one of our community members lives in Ann Arbor, I won't even say the name. I won't even say the state. Right? It's the team up north. It's the state up north. If he gets somebody in our community from that place, Ann Arbor, where the University of Michigan is located, he passes those applications over to a colleague. Is that correct, Eddie? I mean, what is going on with this? This is insane.
You know, Dave, that's a true story. I almost feel like I got to hop off here and wash my hands after I heard you say that city's name. Right? No, it is true. If you live in Ann Arbor or in Ann Arbor, I just pass them off to my colleague, right? He'll take care of you. We'll take the business. We'll help you out.
Excellent. Well, Ohio State is born in this man's blood. He is a diehard fan, but other than that, he is a diehard financier. He's got his finger on the pulse of exactly what programs are going out and happening right now. So we are eager to learn exactly what's going on, Eddie. I'm over here taking notes. RJ's taking notes. What do you got for us today?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, again, thanks for having me on, guys. Appreciate it. But you guys made some good points just in your introductions there. In terms of everything's always changing, right? I can't sit up here and give you an exact, hey, here's the interest rate we could give you. Here's the leverage we can give you, because everything's asset based, which kind of leads into what these loan products are surrounded by, right? You might have an 850 credit score, $100 million in liquidity, but it's a crap deal and we're not going to lend on it, right? So it's more so about the deal, which also on the flip side opens up a lot of opportunity for investors to say, hey, my credit's not the best. I'm a little tight on liquidity, but there's a bunch of equity in this deal. The cash flow is amazing on this deal. We're going to favor that more than looking at you personally. So that's the biggest reason why people will work with us over a conventional bank. We close a lot quicker. And when I say we close a lot quicker, I'm really just talking about DSCR and hard money lenders in general. A lot easier to get approved, a lot less requirements, less hurdles to jump over. But one thing about everybody at Cream Funding here, we're fairly new. We've got about 5 lenders on our team here. And what we did was we just kind of partnered with Dave and RJ here to provide a financing opportunity or option for everybody watching this video, right? So we're not exactly cold calling, cold emailing, anything like that. It's more of a natural, hey, you're looking to get a deal funded. We're an option for you. So what we do is hard money, DSCR lending. All of the people that are on our team here are actual investors themselves. I'm based in Columbus. We have a couple of people based out in LA. We lend nationwide. So essentially, we know a good deal when we see one, just like you, and we're here to kind of help, investors keep their finger on the pulse and understand the financing. So on the hard money front, basically what we can do there is we fund 100% of the renovation budget on the deal. On top of that, it's always going to change, but we will fund, anywhere from 80 to 90% of the purchase price. So in a perfect deal, you're putting 10 to 20% down, and then we fund the rest of the deal. And then we also fund the remaining of the renovation. So I'll kind of pause there, go a little deeper into how that works.
Okay.
Essentially, we hold back the renovation budget. So if you're looking to buy a deal for, let's call it easy numbers, let's say $100,000 purchase and $100,000 renovation budget. And I'm glad this is being recorded because a lot of people this will kind of fly in one ear out the other because it's just a bunch of numbers. But this is the calculation, no matter what the numbers are on the purchase and the renovation that we'll use.
Okay.
You have a $100,000 purchase price and a $100,000 renovation budget. That puts your total cost at $200,000, right?
Correct.
These hard money loans we do on a loan to cost basis. Mm-hmm. So I can never tell someone down payment's 15%, we'll take care of the rest, right? Because it's always going to be different based off the asset. So if you take your $200,000 total cost, we can lend, let's say for easy numbers, 90% loan to cost. 90% of a $200,000 total cost is $180,000.
Yeah,
that would be your total loan amount. Now, of that total loan amount, first we take out the entirety of the renovation budget, right? Because we're funding that for you. So $180,000 total loan amount, take the $100,000 renovation budget out of that, you're left with $80,000. That's the number that's going to go towards the acquisition price. So we hold on to the $100,000 while the borrower, the investor, starts the renovations out of pocket. And then we refund them, as they go. So they can do the entire renovation budget up front and then get one massive, refund, or they can do, $500 here, $1,000 there, and just kind of take refunds as they go. Now, the reason that we do that as a lender, and that's extremely industry standard, is to protect ourselves, right? We don't want to just hand someone, say, all right, here you go. We trust you. Here's 100K, right? Go do your business, right? As much as we would like to. Now, down the line, is that something that could be a possibility? Potentially, but definitely not, right up front when working together. So, it's kind of just a way for us to say, hey, thanks for giving us your scope of work. We've got 100 grand. We trust, we believe that you're going to get this done. Go line by line. We'll refund you line by line. Do the whole thing. We'll refund you at the end. Whatever works for you. So that's kind of how the whole, hard money loan operates. There's a lot that I threw at you there, but any questions I can dive deeper into?
I do. RJ, do you have questions before I tee off on man?
No, I just one thing is from a borrower profile, if somebody's completely new to the business, how can they go about this with you? They may be this might be their first deal. Like, any suggestions on somebody they want to get into this? Maybe they're getting some coaching from us or maybe somebody else, and they want to do a fix and flip. Any suggestions for them going into creamfunding.com and applying and getting some funding?
Yeah, absolutely. It's exactly what you just said. Go to creamfunding.com. Simple as that. We have a boatload of financial tech that literally is only there to make the user experience easy, right? So I always tell people, if you're driving home from dinner and you see a for sale sign in somebody's yard and you're like, I wonder what the numbers would look like on that. If you have a scope of work, you don't have a scope of work, you're under contract and you needed funding yesterday, it doesn't matter where you are in the process. Use our website. Just go in there, create an account, take a couple seconds. Like I said, we don't send any marketing emails or blasts like that. So it's truly just a way for you to get numbers of a deal that you're intrigued with across my desk. And then I can just log on, run the numbers, get quotes to you, and then kind of walk you through it personally, why the offer is what it is. And back to your point, RJ, if you're brand new or if you've done 10,000 flips, it doesn't matter on this front. We can work with anyone. Awesome. It's really just going to be, I will say you have to have a minimum of 680 FICO. There is never a hard pull done. It's always going to be a soft pull. So you can do a million flips a year and it'll never touch your credit. And those are good for 90 days as well. But I'm getting too deep into the underwriting part here. If you're brand new, as long as you got half decent FICO, you got the liquidity to take down a deal, and you just head to our website, make an account, throw an application in there. Super low risk for you and super high reward.
Thank you for clarifying that, Eddie.
Yeah.
So Eddie's talking about, this is important for the viewers to and learn this stuff, guys. I'm here to tell you, if you're going to be in this business, you got to know this stuff. The difference between loan to cost versus the difference between loan to value. Okay. So in Eddie's example, and you might need to rewind it just a couple minutes and go through this example again. We're buying the property for 100. The renovation budget is another 100. Our total cost is $200,000. Eddie is lending based on that total cost of roughly 80% of that total cost, giving us a total loan amount of 180. So let's say the property is worth 300. Eddie's not giving a loan amount of 80% of the 300, which would be 240. You guys see the difference? So the 80% is on the total cost, which is acquisition and rehab, not on the total after repair value. Key distinction. If you're going to be doing this game, you've got to understand the difference between loan to value and loan to cost. I see we have a few people on here. I really want to drive this point home. And please, everybody, this is your opportunity. You have 3 experts on the line. We are here live to answer your questions. Please, the only dumb question is the one that is not asked. If you're not understanding the loan to cost and the difference between loan to cost and loan to value, this is the time. This is Wednesday. We're in the classroom right now. Let's make sure you understand this stuff. So, Eddie, I have a question. So you're going to lend 100% of the rehab, and you're going to give that money in draws. How is the inspections handled? how do you release these draws? How does that process work? Okay, I started working on this thing. You guys granted me $100K. It's kind of chilling in escrow. Do you give me a little bit of money up front to get this thing started? And kind of how's that work? How many draws and how's that process?
Yeah, great question. So once we close, you always standard for our borrowers to get just a little one pager outlining exactly how that works. Now, it's not really up to the borrower to understand that. We're always here to hold the hands and kind of, guide them on what's right. But it's extremely simple. We have a draws department. All they do every single day is deal with draws and people who are looking to get refunded, right? They're never commingling their thoughts with any other department. That is literally all they do, right? So essentially we have an email. They would just send an email, say, hey, I just did this work. I just replaced the front door, right? I want to get refunded. It was a $3,000 front door. This is a high-end flip. So then they would just send that email, and then our draws team would respond essentially with a video link, and then asking for proof of payment. So whether they paid in cash and they just want to show the money that left their bank account, or they have a paid invoice or a receipt from a contractor, whatever it looks like, we just need proof that they did pay for the work. And then they hop on that video call, literally point the camera at the door, show our draws team that the door was in fact replaced. And then we just wire them the money. So it takes about a business day to 2, depending on the bank that the borrowers are using, but super quick, super easy. But to answer your question, we do not give any money up front. It does have to come from the borrower. Now, while we're sending, this goes back all the way to when we even send an initial quote, right? Because we want to cover our bases just like we want you to cover yours, right? If we're giving you a loan, it's a good deal for you as the investor because it's a good deal for us, right? That's just from a business perspective, we're not going to lend on any bad deals. Our debt is extremely safe. And what we do is we factor into required liquidity, how much you're going to need to start that renovation. So you can have the cash to close plus X% more, really nothing crazy. Just want to see that you have the money so that we know you're going to be able to, in some form, start that renovation, whether it's you're doing the whole thing out of your own pocket and getting refunded, like I said, or you're replacing one window at a time and getting refunded each time along the way. So there is a $200 draw fee per draw. Again, this is all, extremely industry standard. These hard money loans, it's very important to think, a lot of people say, why are the interest rates so high, right? Because it's an interest-only loan for 12 months. And it's really just the cost of getting the money so that you can do the renovation, add the value, and then refinance, get your money out, or sell the property and get a whole lot of money out, right? As we all know is very, very possible. So that was kind of a roundabout answer to your question there, Dave.
I totally understand. My question is this. Do you guys do it on so basically you would do it if it was just a door, right? But since it's a $200 draw fee, the borrower probably wants to kind of accumulate some receipts here and not just do every single time you replace a door and a window. Since there's that $200 fee, you kind of want to build this thing up and maybe do 2 or 3 draws total.
Yeah, it really does depend on everyone's individual situation. I have some borrowers who are just, wildly liquid, and they're like, I don't want to pay more than $200 fee. I'm going to do this whole $500,000 situation out of pocket. And I've had some, but the most draws I've ever done was 55 draws on a $60,000 renovation. So, that's just what worked for that individual, and it happens. So.
Very good. So this is the Fix and Flip program. We're kind of putting a bow on this particular program. And the name of the game, everybody, is exactly what we teach. You got to find good deals. There's the deals to fit a model like this where you're going to, be profitable and borrowing these types of loans. You got to go off market. You got to find motivated sellers. This is what we do. This is what we teach. This is where the deals are at. We're still continuing to buy. Don't listen to anybody who says there's no deals out there. And also don't listen to anybody who says, oh, the market's going to crash and this and that. It's a very bullish market. The inventory is still insanely low. You read the headlines out there and they talk about inventories increasing. Yes, compared to what? To basically no inventory. It is increasing a little bit, right? But there's still so many people who are just locked in their home with their current interest rates. Nobody's moving. Inventory is low. and therefore you're not going to see a market crash when the demand is so high, right? What is a market crash? It's when the supply exceeds the demand. Well, right now, the tables have turned. I mean, the demand far exceeds the supply. It's a great time to find off-market deals, find home run deals, let Eddie fund you, get these things turned around back on the market and make profit in the fix and flip business. I mean, this is the game we're playing here, right? Just go find more deals. Go find more deals. And if you don't already have an account set up at Cream Funding, it's 100% free. And then you just start plugging your deals in, and they'll tell you what you can do and what they can do and what they can't do. You know, it is a deal by deal basis for the most part, because like Eddie said, this is an asset-based loan. This is not based on, you know, your blood type. This is not based on something out of the ordinary here. It is based on the property. So start finding good deals. We'll show you how to do that and start plugging these things into Cream Funding. So Eddie, what is next as far as financing programs? What do we got?
Yeah. So next we would have the DSCR, right? And I also want to make note of, you know, we have a very wide variety of products within our hard money and within our DSCR. So if you have a very, very specific niche situation that's happening, we're likely going to be able to help you get out of it or get into it, right? Whichever you're looking to do. So just wanted to make note there. But yeah, you know, our DSCR loans, that stands for debt service coverage ratio. That is something that you as an investor should never even think about, right? Let me worry about all that lender mumbo jumbo. It really just stands for how much is the property going to cash flow, right? So essentially, we can lend on a minimum of 1.00 DSCR, debt service coverage ratio.
Good.
Again, don't worry about that. But essentially, that just means, is the property breaking even in cash flow? Is it renting for how much the mortgage payment is going to be, right? And if it's worse than that, we can still make exceptions all the way down to 0.75 DSCR, even if it's negatively cash flowing. Now, that's when you're really in a pinch. I don't know why anyone in here would shoot for a negatively cash flowing deal, but
sell it.
Like I said, there's very wide, you know, varieties within each product. So DSCR is going to be used for when you're either purchasing a turnkey rental property. And one thing to note, I guess I should have said this up front, we can strictly lend on single family rentals, duplexes, triplexes, all the way up to 10 unit residential. So if it's a mixed use, if it's an office building, if it's a storefront, anything like that, we cannot lend on. Just want to make that very, very clear, right? It's all residential rental properties up to 10 units, which in Columbus, you know, is very, very popular. I would say that's the mass majority of the deals here. But anyways, DSCR loans, if you're looking to purchase a turnkey rental property or refinance a property that you already own, right? Now, under the refinance, or I guess let me start with the purchase. The new purchase is extremely simple. Rates right now are going to be anywhere from the high 6% to, you know, the very low 9%. It depends on a million different factors. Your credit score, if it's a 660 or above, we're good to go. If it's a 760 or above, you're going to get unbelievable terms from us. You know, if the DSCR is super, super strong, if it's, you know, anywhere near that 1% rule, worth 100,000, renting for 1,000, it's going to be unbelievable terms that we're able to give. If it's not, it'll be a little bit lesser terms. So there's a million different things that we look at. This is the true asset-based loan in terms of, you know, if it's this, then we can do that. If it's that, then we can do this. But on the refinance side, if you're looking to do a cash out refinance, pull your equity out after a flip, that's 9 times out of 10 what people are doing. We offer that. If you want to do a rate and term refinance, that's when you're just looking to get your current outstanding balance paid off. You cannot pull any cash out on that. We can do that as well. So new purchases, we're going to give you up to 80% of the purchase price. Super straightforward. This one is loan to value. So loan to cost is strictly on the hard money side. DSCR is loan to value. So we'll give you 80%. You put 20 down on a purchase. On a cash out refinance, we'll give you 75% of what the property appraises for. So 75 loan to value. On a rate and term refinance, not looking to pull any cash out, just you know, pay down the outstanding balance and then get into a 30-year note with us. We can go up to 80% loan to value. So again, it's a lot of numbers, very, very easy to forget. And you don't have to remember these. Like I'll throw my number in the chat here. If you go on creamfunding.com, our number is there. I will pick up, if not me, a couple other of my colleagues will. We are always open to talk. Sometimes I feel like I'm more of a teacher than a lender, right? Which I love because you got to learn this stuff in order to take over the market. And that's what everyone's goal is to do.
A little feedback here. RJ, what did you have here? What's going on?
No, what came to mind is if you're going to educate the market, you're eventually going to dominate the market. But what I wanted to say is you're saying 80% loan to value on DSCR loans up to 80%.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're looking to purchase a $100,000 property, we can give you $80,000. You'd have $20,000 down payment plus closing costs, of course. Now, on that note, if it's kind of a weaker deal, the cash flow is super tight. Maybe your credit's like right at 660. Maybe you're brand new and this is your first ever, investment property that you're purchasing. We might have to be 70 or 75, but typically 9 times out of 10, we're going to be able to make 80% work unless it's just the deal's real tight.
So I wanted to just let everybody know that this is part of being a good real estate investor is always thinking about the end goal in mind, talking to guys like Eddie and asking about what their programs are and how much loan to value they're going to lend on, because then you can go back to your marketing and your offers on real estate, right? Motivated sellers, and just reverse engineer what your max offer would be based on purchase and rehab. So this is good stuff here. So I would want to feel, we always are conservative with our numbers, but if you could get deals or find deals in your target area to be all in for 70, let's just say 70%. Now you can go to Eddie and say, hey, Eddie, I got this deal that I want to do a cash out refinance on, or even do the upfront funding for it to get it rent ready. Knowing these programs allows you to go back and have a way more better game plan when you're talking to somebody who's looking to sell their house, knowing where your offer is going to be. So always be thinking about that and stay in front of these rental programs that are out there, because they're going to change. Sometimes something new comes about that allows you to go back into some old leads to turn them into deals.
Mm-hmm.
And on that note, RJ, real quick is, we are very much so a BRRRR strategy lender, right? So part of our hard money product is we have many what we call loan limiting factors, right? We have loan to purchase price, loan to as is value. We have loan to after repair value. We have all these different things that we're looking at. And we will not do a deal unless it perfectly pencils out on the DSCR backend. Now, we're not looking for, what do we think it's going to rent for? What do we think the taxes and insurance payments are going to be? On the hard money front, we're more so looking at, is there enough cushion between their total cost basis, what they're buying it for and what they're renovating it for, and what we think it's going to be worth after. And if it hits anywhere near what the projected after repair value is going to be, 9 times out of 10, it will pencil out as a perfect DSCR cash out refinance. So we always have the investors' thoughts in mind. Again, like myself, my colleagues, we all have, small portfolios. We're just trying to get like Dave and RJ here, but we have portfolios ourselves. We manage our own deals. We lend on, hundreds of people's deals. I mean, we've seen it all. So like Dave said, no dumb questions. We're here to educate. We're here to work with you. We're here to be really just on your team. So
this is key. I admittedly, I think RJ and I were in this business probably for 5 years buying rental properties. RJ and I are action takers. We like to put points on the board. We play offense in many areas of our life. And we didn't even understand this stuff on the level that we do now when we were first getting this started. So anyone who's watching this and listening to this, please ask us questions, understand this stuff, learn this stuff. We didn't have, when RJ and I were getting started, we didn't have a channel like this. We didn't have a community like this to like ask questions and what is this and how does this work? We were just shooting from the hip. And, sometimes you got to fire first and aim second. And we definitely did that. But you have the opportunity to be more strategic. RJ's talking about reverse engineer. We're talking some high level stuff today. I'm just going to break it down here real quick, and we're going to talk about some more programs. But real quick, what a DSCR loan is, right? Debt service coverage ratio, right? You don't need to know this fancy terminology. All you need to know is it's basically an asset-based loan for like permanent financing, like a 30-year fixed rate loan. Is that what you guys pretty much offer? You got offer 30-year fixed rate loans. Do you offer any interest only type of stuff on these DSCR loans?
Yeah, absolutely, we do. So we'll have a 30-year fixed, just like a conventional loan. Rates right now are pretty similar, and the process is just way easier. And then we have an interest-only arm. It's a 5/6 interest-only arm. And essentially, how that works is it's 10 years interest only, and then 20 years amortizing. 5 years with a fixed rate, and then 25 years of a floating rate. So those are all options. I always put in, that with a quote, and I say, hey, if this makes more sense for you, it's a little bit lower on the monthly payments. However, you're not buying down any principal. Sometimes it makes sense, sometimes it doesn't. So I mean, it's always something that we offer, but yeah.
So anyway, we actually do both. Just so everybody knows, depends on the deal. Sometimes we go with an interest-only option. You might be thinking, well, we're not getting any principal pay down. Yeah, but it increases the cash flow. It's crazy. Like your payment is going to be lower on an interest-only loan. So we're not opposed to it, right? But a DSCR loan, as a high-level overview, is just a loan that you're going to be using for your rental properties. It's the loan, right? Maybe you do your fix and flip business with the first product that we talked about, the fix and flip product. The DSCR loans are for your rentals, right? So you're owning rental properties, Cream Funding will fund all your rental properties. And here's a key distinction as well. On the fix and flip loans, that's where, the loan amount is derived off a loan to cost. And Eddie taught us what the loan to cost is. When it comes to these DSCR loans, the buy and hold loans, rental property loans, we're talking about the loan is based off loan to value. It's a key distinction, right? So with that being said, Eddie said on the fix and flip stuff, he's looking to do about 80% of the loan to cost. If our purchase and rehab is 200, they'll give you 80% of your total cost, which would be 160, or what it was, a 180. I'm sorry, right?
Yep. Yeah. So
when it comes to the loan to value, let's say this
160
house is 160. Let's say this house is valued at 200. That's the after repair value, and you're all into this deal for much less. They'll give you 80% of the total value,
which is 160. So what I was saying is you want to look for opportunities in your pipeline when you're doing your deals, and just reverse engineer Eddie's loan to value amount. So that's what we do. And this wasn't around when we were getting started, by the way. What was happening back then in 8, 9, and 10 was nobody was lending. So now you have the opportunity to get all of your financing done this way in a very easy to understand platform, which is creamfunding.com. All you got to do is just enter your information. If you have current deals, or if you are looking at some deals and you're wanting some upfront financing, or on the back end when you're doing the refinance, get over there now. You can even text him. His phone number is right there if you can't see that. But let's keep. We've got another about 10 minutes or so. So we want to make sure that we can answer any questions. But are there any other programs that we want to cover today, Eddie?
No, I mean, one other thing that we do have is a new construction program. Now, this one's a little more difficult. If you're brand new to investing, I'm just going to shoot it straight. There's no way that we could give you a new construction loan. Now, if you have a partner who is willing to guarantee the loan for you and you guys can be on the LLC together, then we can do a loan for you, right? And so if you're looking to buy something and hold it, buy something and flip it, or build it, we have a loan product for it, right? So another thing that we have is a bank statement loan. That is the exact same thing as a DSCR loan. It's just that we're not even looking at the market rents or the rental income. We're looking at your debt to income ratio. That's the only product where we're going to look at, more about you rather than the property. But that's on deals where maybe you're looking to operate it as a short-term rental and it's vacant and we can't really underwrite to long-term appraised market rents. We're going to look at you and say, hey, do you own your own business? Essentially, do you make a lot of money? And we're going to give you a loan for whatever you want. So again, guys, we are here to make it work for you as an investor. That is literally what my day-to-day life is, right? We've got 20 deals in underwriting right now. And every single one of them is constantly something's going right, something's going wrong. And my job is just to educate, provide value, and make sure everything's going as smooth as possible. So like RJ said, happy to answer any questions from anyone who's in here now, but that's my mobile there in the chat, 614-618-9537. You can text, call me whenever. I'm happy to talk with anyone about anything. So
I got a quick question. You had mentioned you want to see some experience if somebody's doing new construction and whatnot, rightfully so. You want to see some experience when it comes to a bio of some type and building experience and rehab experience. What about somebody who maybe doesn't have the experience when it comes to the new construction, but they're actually really good at Legos and actually close to being a Lego master?
Yeah. That is something that we might be able to work. You've built the Death Star from Star Wars, start to finish. We
know what? Something personal about me. I got hooked on that show, Lego Masters. It was during the COVID time.
Oh yeah.
And man, I just watch every season of that thing. I love it. Those people are amazing, right? But here's the thing that you guys really need to know: the fix and flip program and the BRRRR program. And Eddie already said he's a teacher. He's not a sales guy, right? He's going to teach you guys, and we trust Eddie enough to put our name on this, right? Like, we would never risk our own reputation with a non-reputable lender. It is what it is. The rates that they're going to be quoting you are right there competitive with everything else. We're not marking this program up for you and trying to, you can shop around. In fact, Eddie, you probably encourage people to shop around, right? Because we're very competitive.
Absolutely. I think the moment that you become salesy is the moment you kind of stop doing business. And especially, I'm born and raised here in Columbus, Ohio. My dad's a solo probate attorney. He represents a lot of people who live on the South End who can't necessarily afford these large corporate, America attorneys and everything. So growing up under him, my morals are take care of people and people take care of you. And, the moment I start trying to force products down people's mouths is the moment I'm probably forced out of the business myself. So 100%.
That is definitely not the vibe, but we're grateful that you were here today. RJ, you want to bring us home with some closing thoughts?
No, I just want to, I'm super grateful to have you in our community, Eddie. I'm sure when we have another local event, you'll be there. So you can, everybody on this channel now will probably send out some sort of email about when the next live event is going to be. You can meet Eddie at the live event, but don't wait until the live event. Give him a text right now. His number is right there. It's 614-618-9537. creamfunding.com is the website where you can go in, create an account, check out the products. We really like, I think the majority of our community is doing a bunch of fix and flips and buy and holds. And if you are in new construction, definitely check out their programs as well. They have amazing programs for residential and up to 10 units, what I wrote down as notes. So if you have duplexes, fourplexes, small, multifamily, up to 10 units, definitely check them out. So we have a little bit of time here for some Q&A.
Mm-hmm.
If there's anybody asking any questions about that, about any of the stuff that we covered today, definitely put them in the somewhere in the comments section. Let me take a look and see what I got here. Here's one. Are there any seasoning? Is there any seasoning on your DSCR loans? Meaning, do I have to own the property for at least 90 days or more before I can execute a refinance?
Great question. So if you are looking to, refi just your cost basis out of the property, not pull any cash out, well, then there's really no seasoning requirement. We have seasoning periods where, if you're at 0 to 3 months seasoning and you want to do the refinance before you've even owned it for 3 months, that'll be a little bit different than what it looks like between 3 to 6 months. But if you're just looking to refi, get in a 30-year loan, get your cost basis back, we can do that really at any point in time. Now, on the flip side, if you're looking to pull out the full, 75% cash out refinance, we would have to wait to close that loan on the first day of 6 months seasoning. So that's the only thing that really requires the seasoning period if you're looking to do that full cash out. But other than that, we can do the rate and term refinance really at any time.
Gotcha. Let's see.
Great question.
Do you have a product where you fund the upfront purchase and then turn it into a longer term on the back end, longer term loan? So essentially, it's like you're helping us, you're helping somebody acquire it, fund the renovations, and then their intent is to turn it into a rental, and then they just, turn it into a longer term note.
Yeah. So in terms of us funding 100% of the purchase price?
I think what they're trying to ask is, do you have a program where it turns from a fix and flip into longer term financing in one loan?
Great. Yeah. Great question. So that's actually, it's funny that was a question asked, because that is something that's in the works right now. Just full transparency on the back end, the capital markets side, like that is very, very difficult to make work, just because, there's a whole, that would change the terms on the loan and everything from 12. Because right now it's a 12-month term, and then it turns into a 30-year term. So right now what the solution is, we just save, we discount the lender fees. We just, if we give you the hard money loan and you express that, your thought is, I want to refinance with you guys after we're done with this, we just drop the lender fees in half, on each side. So typically on a bridge loan and hard money is the same thing, by the way. On a bridge loan, it'll be a $995 underwriting fee, which also covers the cost of an appraisal. We can do a $495 underwriting fee on the front end, just to save you some money if you plan to refinance with us. And then on the back end, when you refinance, it's typically a $1,495 underwriting fee, and we can lower that to $995 if you refi with us. So we'll save you about $1,000, but right now, as it stands, you would have to do both of those loan products. There's not one that would kind of be a one size fits all. That makes sense.
Yeah. Another question I'm seeing is, do you guys have products for manufactured homes?
Yeah, those are going to be on Dave, we were just talking about that last night, right?
Yes, we were.
Those are something that sometimes we can make work. Sometimes it's an immediate pass. So if it's on a slab, and it's got a foundation, typically we're going to be good to go. If it's pretty much a trailer park, we're not going to be able to lend on that. So that's very deal by deal. And that's another great thing about us. We have an in-house capital markets team that essentially I'm looking at Slack on the right side of my screen right now, and they're lighting me up about other deals that I got going on. And everyone's very, very accessible. So if I see a deal come through and I'm like, this is kind of pushing on our guidelines a little bit, I'm not sure we can make this work, I'll have an answer for him in 20, 30 minutes. I just shoot a Slack message over to our capital markets team, and they say, hey, here's what we would need to do, or here's what we would need to see in order to make this deal work, or unfortunately, we're going to have to pass on this one. So that's definitely not something that we would advertise like, hey, we're doing modular homes, we're doing manufactured housing, whatever it may be. But it's something that we can make work on a case by case.
I like it. You guys are willing to work with the investor, which is key, which we don't really see that much on the lending front. That's all the questions I got. Dave, you have anything else?
I do not. I'm very grateful for Eddie and all he's doing for our community, whether you're part of our coaching community or not. I mean, just by being part of the channel, one of our subscribers, one of our followers, we're grateful you're here. We're grateful for the opportunity to provide max value, and bringing in experts like Eddie certainly adds to that. So, hey, let's get after it, everybody. You know what we got to do? We got to make offers. We got to find off market deals, and then we let the money take care of the rest. We let Eddie take care of the rest. That's what we should be doing. Get out there and find deals. Pick up the phone today, everybody. No fear. This is what we're up to. Hey, you could learn the ins and outs of every financing program out there, become a master of this, that, and the other. It's not going to make you any money until you get a deal, though. Right? It's not about how much you know. If you have any questions, Eddie will take all your calls. He's a teacher, right? But the thing that I encourage everyone to do, get out there, let's find deals, put these deals in front of Eddie, and figure out how to monetize it. Let the finance guy help you take this thing down and make money with it. Do your job to get out there and find deals. That's what we're here to do. And that's what we teach you to do. So, as always, if you're interested in our coaching, go to creamlaunch.com, click the blue button, set up a call with myself, RJ, or someone on our team, and you get full access to us, in our coaching program. We're on the phone with you multiple times a week. So with that being said, we're grateful for every single one of you. Thank you, Eddie. Thank you, RJ. And we will see you next Wednesday at the same time. See you soon.
Go Bucks.
Yes, sir.
Go Bucks.